One in four people worldwide will experience mental health problems within their lifetime. And mental health problems, they cause issues in multiple dimensions in your life, such as cognitive, social, and physical dimensions. And these behaviors tend to unhealthy, or these things tend to unhealthy behaviors such as not keeping appointments, not maintaining relationships, and not even wanting to get out of bed. And these unhealthy behaviors, they can lead to lifestyle diseases that cause to up to 70% of deaths worldwide. They lower quality of life, but are actually quite preventable if you change your behavior into healthy behaviors. However, research says that changing your behavior long term is very hard. And this is hard because you want to change your behavior, but it's a non-linear process. You will go through ups and downs, and it takes a while. This is especially true for those with severe mental health illnesses, such as those diagnosed with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and severe depression for a period of 2+ years, to the point that it disrupts their social functioning within life. These patients often go through community treatment care facilities, mostly in the Western world. And in such community treatment care facilities, you have support in legal matters, housing, but also social matters and goals. So treatment goals in the long term, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? Where do you need to achieve within the next 1 or 2 years? However, there's a problem. Without direct contact with the patient or the social aspect of the patient, so think of GPs, friends, neighbors, these care facilities have a problem with assessing the progress of a patient towards their goals. Now, you would think that digital health applications or digital devices are a natural solution to this because they are pervasive, everyone has them, and you can use them to track progress in many things, such as goals. However, what we do know is that after a while, there's an engagement problem with such devices and such apps. After 3 weeks, you don't use applications anymore. We do know, or research does say, that we can use gamification and personalization to increase this engagement in short term. So what did we look at? We looked at those goals of patients to use them as personalized content within such applications. However, when we looked at all the different teams with over 3,000 patients and 10,000 goals, we saw that only 1 in 4 goals are measurable. And why is this important? Because goal setting theory tells us that measurable goals have significantly better outcomes, and self-determination theory tells us that when goals are personal, then you tend to want to work on them longer. However, taking these theories and making measurable goals takes a lot of time. And healthcare providers or healthcare personnel don't have that much time to do this. So our main question during this project was, how can we leverage AI to help co-create such content for these applications? So how do we create them, refine them, and structure these personalized content? We used the design science research method, and we had different rounds of iterations where we first verified the applications that we made with, technically and with healthcare professionals. Then we evaluated it with a healthy population, then towards a population that had mental illnesses. So the first thing we looked at was, how do we create goals with AI? In our first study, we saw that we can generate goals using LLMs. So that's possible. There's a feasibility for that. The second study, we validated these goals, and we saw that these goals were better than the goals created by the healthcare personnel themselves. In the third study, we saw that these goals don't have a negative impact on the engagement in health interventions on a healthy population. And lastly, we saw that stakeholders such as participants in these applications, healthcare personnel, and AI experts thought it was okay to give their personal information in exchange for highly personalized goals. That led to the creation of the goal system. And the goal system is an LLM-powered goal creation system that creates measurable goals and refines measurable goals in co-creation with healthcare personnel. Then we looked at how do we structure those goals in such applications. And we structure those goals. And the first study, we saw that when we put different structures of those goals, there is also no negative impact on engagement. In the second study, we saw that we can use these structures or design these structures in ways that an automated planner can solve them. Then we made it a multi-dimensional structure where we took multiple types of goals, so cognitive, physical, and social goals. In these structures, an AI could plan such complicated structures. And then in the last study, on this side, we saw that human digital twins can be used to personalize the content based on real-time behavior of the person using the application. This led to Apple's, the automated planning of level structure system that helps healthcare personnel create content progression for these applications. So how do we answer the question? So how can AI technologies be leveraged to co-create the content? Well, by using LLMs to create goals, by using AI planning to structure these goals, and by using human digital twins to personalize these structures based on real-time behavior data. We do have some limitations, though. One limitation is that we did minimal interventions with those diagnosed with severe mental illnesses. We did not go through the full design science research method for all of the tools mentioned in the thesis, and we didn't have long-term studies conducted within the thesis. Then we have some achievements. What we did do, we have 10 plus papers across 200 participants, and we presented this work across 4 continents in 8 plus countries. However, the research does not stop here, as gamified content is not entertaining content per se. We did start looking into how to make this content more entertaining by implementing games into digital health interventions. And where we want to go towards is taking healthy activities and putting them into games that are already intrinsically motivating to start with. Thank you.